and welcome back to MPTV. My name is Hannah from Meier Paul Real Estate. Joining us today we have Mark from KMH Accounting. Welcome, Mark.
Hi Hannah, it's a pleasure to be here again today.
Thank you. So a lot of people my age probably wouldn't have used an accountant before, and they probably don't know what an accountant is. So why should young people use an accountant?
There are many reasons that someone would need to use an accountant, and I suppose I'd start by explaining the fact that we wear many hats. We're not just working for H&R Block bean counters or whatever the case may be, and it's not just all about tax returns. There's so much more that we can bring to the table and so much more that we offer people. We have a wealth of experience in a number of areas, be it the taxation side, as I've just mentioned, as one part, but then you also have accountants that work in spheres of government and also as chief financial officers of businesses, so they control the funds and how everything flows in businesses. So we have an understanding of how money flows and where things go. And I suppose with that sort of experience and that wealth of knowledge, we're able to give people direction as to how they should approach things and where they might be going in life, and to say, oh, don't do that, do it this way, it's so much better. And I suppose that's what we bring to the table, the ability to just provide that advice and that surety.
Interesting.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So when do young people need to start going to an accountant?
There's no right time or wrong time. You'll often find that with, say, family businesses as one example, that children may be brought into a business structure very early on in the piece. Say the family may have a business and they decide to operate within a company and or a trust, and they decide to distribute some of this income to the children. So there can be, at a very early age, that happening. Then there's also the situation where someone has just started work, they're not quite sure about how to fill in a tax return or whatever the case may be, and they say, okay, yeah, I probably need to go and see a tax agent as it would be, or an accountant in that situation. Then there's also situations where someone may be getting something, say an inheritance, and this is an example which I can give. I have a client and her daughter was 16 at the time, and they received an inheritance of many hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Wow.
And wondering what to do with that money. And they decided or elected to go into property. So they were able to borrow a small amount from the bank, and the mother in this case was the one that signed off as guarantor, but the house is jointly owned by the daughter and the mother, so that they have this investment going forward together. They came to me, well actually they didn't come to me straight away, and this is where I use the example of and or nominee, and I spoke with Susanna. They didn't know what name to put on the contract, and thankfully they put and or nominee, which means we could change the contract details as was applicable. So there's an example, say an inheritance, and then me being able to say, yes, that's how it should be structured, and yep, that's how you do it, and this is how the taxes will go going forward. Another example is business, and just because someone is a little bit younger doesn't mean they're not entrepreneurial, and doesn't mean they don't want to go out there and take on the world and start their own business. So that being the case, I can certainly be there as a guide to just say, okay, this is what you need to start off, and this is how you do it, and just point them in the right direction, and just be there as a listening post if they've got some problems along the way.
Oh, great. Thank you so much for your advice. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Thank you.